in New York City, I paid $5, which is insane. I mean, does it damage the hair? I think this is the most important thing when considering this procedure. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tereza and today's video will be all about Japanese hair straightening. As you guys may know if you watched my channel before, I've gotten this procedure done a couple times before myself. I will be answering all the comments, questions and concerns that you guys left in my comment sections in the previous 2 videos that I did on this topic, which you can check out right here. The video is divided into 6 chapters, so feel free to skip around, but if you're serious about this procedure, I very much recommend sticking through the whole video so that you don't miss any key pieces of information that you may need. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Chapter number 1. And starting with first question, which is what is Japanese hair straightening and how does it work? So what it is we all probably already know, totally reading this by the way. It is also known as thermal reconditioning and it is a hair treatment that uses heat and chemicals to permanently straighten wavy or curly hair. But how does it actually work? So basically, the process starts with application of a special solution to the hair, which breaks down the structure. Curly and straight hair have different structure, and the chemicals that they put on the hair break down this natural structure, and then through using heat and the straightener, they put in a new structure, and then they kind of put it in place with some neutralizing solution that kind of fixes it in. This is not like, for example, Brazilian keratin or something like that, which kind of just like coats the hair with something. You're literally getting inside of your hair and changing the structure from within. So it's very, very permanent, and it's also why you should keep watching this video and give it a thumbs up so that everyone else considering doing a permanent change to their hair can find this video and be informed. Smooth, right? Next question. Will my hair be permanently straight? So the answer is yes, your hair will stay permanently straight until it starts growing out. So if you have very curly hair, you'll start to notice that like your roots and your grow out is curly. And that's when you need to get either over it or retouch. By the way, there's a huge construction going on outside, so I really hope you can't hear all of that. How long do the results of Japanese hair straightening last? So this will be very individual. Obviously, they are permanent, so your hair will forever be changed until you chop it off. But how long you're actually able to go between appointments will vary a lot because everyone's hair grows at different rate, and it will also depend on like how curly your hair is and how good you're at styling it. It usually requires like straightening, using products, and also knowing what hairstyle kind of hides it the best. Anyway, long story short, it will depend, but for most people it will be anywhere between 3 to 6 to 9 months. What was the brand of the product? For my first appointment, I'm not sure. For my second appointment, it was this brand. And I've noticed that this is the one that most of the good salons use. Moving on to chapter number 2, which are considerations before getting Japanese hair straightening. So by now we have pretty good idea of what this procedure is, how it works, and now what should you think about if you actually want to go through with this and get it done? Would you recommend this for someone with thin hair, and does Japanese hair straightening work on all hair types? I mean, yes, Japanese hair straightening definitely does work on all hair types. But the question is, for what cost? And I would say in general, it's probably not recommended to get this done if you have super fine and super thin hair. And especially if you have hair that has been, you know, overly colored or bleached or in some other ways damaged, that's definitely not recommended. But let's say you're not that case, you have healthy-ish hair, not colored, not bleached, pretty healthy, and you want to get this done. You just have fine hair and you're worried of how will it look like. So I can very much speak to this question because I'm someone with fine hair. It may not look like it now because girl's got some tricks up her sleeve on how to make it look like I actually have some hair. I actually was never aware of the fact that I had not a lot of hair, because when you have curly hair, all the volume and everything, it, you know, kind of hides it. But if you straighten it, especially if you straighten it in this way where really like you kind of do lose all the volume that your hair naturally has, it will be a lot more obvious. And I definitely recommend giving this some thought and trying out straightening your hair just to see if like you kind of like that look. Is it okay with blonde or bleached hair? Natural blonde hair, as long as it's healthy, should be totally fine. I don't see why that should be a problem. But bleached hair, if you have bleached hair, blonde or any other color, that's when it kind of gets problematic because your hair has already undergone some chemical changes, and going through this chemical change could really like be the death sentence. I recommend being very upfront with your salon about the fact that you have bleached hair, and you can kind of see how comfortable they are about doing it. But in general, I would probably recommend to play it safe, let your hair grow out, and then get it done. Because bleach is already damaging the hair a lot. And let's be real, this procedure also has the potential to damage your hair, so I personally would not risk it. Related question is, can you color or dye your hair after Japanese hair straightening? The answer here is yes, you can actually dye your hair after Japanese hair straightening, but it's generally recommended to wait at least 2 weeks before doing so, because that allows your hair to kind of recover from, what it's been through in this procedure. Again, consult with a professional. Generally, probably not recommended to do it. I personally would again play it safe and not do it because again, your hair's already processed, it's already been through like pretty harsh chemical treatment, and then going in with like bleach and coloring and other stuff, like it just like doesn't sound like recipe for success to me. Can you get wavy hair with this treatment? Like make it straighter than what it already is, but not bone straight? So this is a very interesting question, and I think the answer is yes. You should be able to get this because a lot of the Japanese hair salons that offer Japanese hair straightening also offer what they usually call like wavy perms, which is kind of the opposite of Japanese hair straightening. It's basically when they take someone with straight hair and change the structure of the hair to be curly. So technically speaking, yes, I don't see why this should not be possible. I think it should be totally doable. The question will be, is your hairstylist comfortable doing this and do they have experience doing this? What products and tools were you using for hair straightening before going for Japanese hair straightening? I was actually not using anything special. I would occasionally curl or straighten my hair or both, but I was not using any special tools, any special products, just, regular drugstore shampoo, occasional hair mask. But yeah, I did not do anything special. All that I did was right before the procedure, I did not wash my hair for about 4 days, just because I wanted to give it a break and kind of let it have the natural oils and stuff to protect it from what's gonna be done to it in the salon. And last question in this section, how to choose the right salon and what factors should you consider when choosing the salon for this treatment? I think this is the most important thing when considering this procedure. Outside of Asia, it's not very common. So it's kind of hard to find a salon that A, does it, and B, actually does it somewhat regularly. I would always recommend to, if you can, look for a Japanese salon. Look for a salon that actually, if the website has kind of bad English, ideally if it's in Japanese, that's like a great sign. And then I would recommend the usual, check out the Google reviews, check out Instagram, Facebook, and then what I like to do, since I have a little stalking problem, is I look if they tag the person in the post whose hair this is, or if the person maybe commented on the post or something. Basically, I try to track down the person whose hair I see on the before and after, and I DM them on Instagram asking, hey, how was your procedure? How did you like it? Would you recommend this salon? Chapter number 3 is cost. So how much was the first appointment and how much was the touch-up? So for the first appointment that I've gotten done in August 2022 in New York City, I paid $531, which is insane. And for the touch-up that I've gotten done in January 2023 in Houston, I paid about $250 to $300. Some places charge a lot more for the touch-up. A lot of places charge pretty much the same price for the touch-up as they do for the full appointment, which is unfortunate. Try negotiating. Chapter 4, which is maintenance and aftercare. What shampoo, conditioner do you use now, or was anything specific recommended? As far as products go, I was not recommended anything specific. I think you're totally fine using whatever you were using before. What a lot of people on the internet mention is using sulfate-free shampoos and conditioners, which is, from what I understand, to prevent like stripping your hair of the natural oils and kind of keeping it hydrated. So that means that sulfate is probably the thing in shampoos that gets you rid of the oil. That's great, but if you have thin hair like I do, sometimes you kind of do need to get rid of that so you have some volume. So if you have normal hair, I would recommend using sulfate-free shampoos and conditioners just to give your hair a little extra protection. But if you have thin and kind of flat hair like I do, then I would probably recommend like rotating sulfate-free and sulfate-containing shampoos and conditioners. And whenever I style my hair like today, I always use heat protection. And this is the product that I use. Something that I've been recommended after my appointment and that I would also recommend if you go through this procedure is try to not wash your hair for about 48 or ideally 72 hours after the appointment. Once you get it done and you walk out of the salon, do not wash your hair for 3 days. Honestly, like 95% likelihood your hair would still be fine if you wash it earlier than that. But if you go through this time, this money, this effort and everything, you just want to make sure. And also try to not style your hair. Try to just like let it flow freely. No ponytails, no braids, nothing like that. Basically you want to keep your hair straight because it's still kind of settling into the straight shape and into this like new structure. So I would recommend no braids, no ponytails, nothing, just like straight hair for 3 days straight. And yes, your hair will probably get gross, it will probably get kind of nasty. Chapter number 5, Long-Term Impact. 3 month, 6 months and 1 year update about overall health of your hair after the straightening. So I actually already did the 3 and 5 month update, which is linked somewhere up here. Recommend checking that out. And it has not yet been a year since my appointment, so I can't really speak for that just yet. If you want to see that update, let me know down below. Is it safe to get it done every 3 months? Yes, I would say in general it is. If your hair is healthy and in a good condition. Did it make your hair fall? Hard to say, honestly. You know, it's been almost a year since I've had this treatment and I don't really remember how much my hair used to fall out. But if you're asking in terms of like, have I noticed like that I actually have a lot less hair and stuff like that, I did not. I don't think this has caused that much hair fall. However, it is important to know you will feel like you have less hair and your hair will look like you will have less hair even if you don't have hair loss. Because obviously you will lose all the volume that comes with having curly hair. In a way, I feel like I had to reteach myself like how to style my own hair because my whole life I spent trying to make it less frizzy and less curly and make it straight. And now I was in a position where my hair is completely straight, completely flat and has no volume. So it was like relearning doing hair all over again. Does this damage your hair? Did you find your hair was damaged or dry at all, or was it okay? This is the million-dollar question, right? Does this damage the hair? I mean, does it damage the hair? I think yes. It's like coloring, right? Like it can be done in a way that has less negative impact, but it will always be worse for the hair than just leaving it alone. But there are ways how to do this in like a sensitive way so that your hair is fine. I found salons that were very experienced in this and that were very careful with my hair, and I'm happy to say that I have not really noticed that much damage and my hair has actually been growing pretty fast ever since I got this done, so I think that's a good testament to the fact that my hair is okay. I think as long as you go to a good salon and your hair is healthy going into this, you should be fine and the damage should be minimal. And last chapter, the future. So what do you plan on doing when you decide to let it grow out again? This is a very good question and one that I can answer because I actually was lucky enough that the first time I got this done, the very first time I got this done, like 4 years ago, I only gotten it done once and then COVID came. I was extremely fortunate to have a whole global pandemic playing in my favor and to be able to stay at home and for no one to have to see me throughout that time because, not going to lie, in full honesty, those months that your hair will be growing out are not pretty. It's just not. It sucks because it's super hard to style your hair if half of it is super curly and half of it is pin straight. What I usually ended up doing was like curling the hair that was still straight so that it kind of matches like my natural pattern, which is impossible. That was like a lot of effort and it still didn't look so good. What you can do, I mean, not much. You can learn how to style it better. You can get a haircut or you can just wait. I mean, honestly, that's all there is. Either way, it's not fun. It's totally doable, don't get me wrong. I'm probably dramatizing it a bit, but I gotta keep it honest, it's not fun. Are there any alternatives to Japanese hair straightening? In my opinion, no. There isn't anything that has this same effect and where the effect is this permanent. You do have the Brazilian keratin and stuff like this, but I would honestly never do that. And I read that like one of the critical ingredients in this is formaldehyde or whatever it's called, which like causes cancer, and the results are not permanent and it's usually very expensive as well. So I don't see why that would be any better than getting this done, other than the fact that it's not permanent, but cancer is permanent, so I would stay away from that. I don't think there's honestly anything like this. It may have like different names, as I said, like Japanese hair straightening, thermal reconditioning. Some people also say like Korean straightening and all of this stuff, but it all works on the same principle. It's just like different brand names basically. And last, and probably most important question is, was this worth it? Drumroll. Yes, in my personal experience, it was absolutely worth it, 100%. I will definitely be getting this redone for a while, as long as I can afford it. I actually, like, for the first time in my life, feel like I do have some hair, you know? I can actually, like, style my hair, I can wear it in multiple, like, hairstyles, and it actually feels like fun to do my hair. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you do have any additional questions, comments or concerns, please do leave them down below in the comment section. I will definitely get back to you. That's it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Good luck. Bye! Next question. Will my hair be permanently straight? So, as we already talked about, this procedure is straight. This procedure is permanent.